Very reverend sport truly, and done in the testimony of a good conscience. The deer was, as you know, sanguis, in blood, ripe as the palm water, who now hangeth like a jewel in the rear ear of Callow. The sky, the welkin, the heaven, and anon falleth like a crab on the face of terror, the soil, the land, the earth. Truly, Master Holofernes, the epithets are sweetly varied, like a scholar at the least, but, sir, I assure you, it was a buck of the first head. Sir Nathaniel Howard Credo. 'Twas not a Howard Credo, 'twas a pricket. Most barbarous intimation, yet a kind of insinuation, as it were, in way of explication. Facere, as it were, replication, or rather ostentare, to show, as it were, his inclination after his undressed, unpolished, uneducated, unpruned, untrained, or rather unlettered, or ratherest unconfirmed fashion, to insert again my Hod Credo for a deer. I said the deer was not a Hod Credo, 'twas a pricket. Twice sad simplicity, bis coctus. O thou monster ignorance, how deformed dost thou look? Sir, he hath never fed of the dainties that are bred in a book. He hath not eat paper, as it were. He hath not drunk ink. His intellect is not replenished. He is only an animal, only sensible in the duller parts. And such barren plants are set before us that we thankful should be, which we have taste and feeling of for those parts that do fructify in us more than he. For as it would ill become me to be vain, indiscreet, or a fool, so were there a patch set on learning, to see him in a school. But o me bene, say I, being of an old father's mind, many can brook the weather that love not the wind. You too are bookmen. Can you tell me by your wit what was a month old at Cain's birth that's not 5 weeks old as yet? Dictina, Goodman dull, Dictina, Goodman dull. What is dictima? A title to Phoebe, to Luna, to the moon. The moon was a month old when Adam was no more, and wrought not to 5 weeks when he came to 50. The allusion holds in the exchange. 'Tis true, indeed, the collusion holds in the exchange. God comfort thy capacity. I say the allusion holds in the exchange. And I say the pollution holds in the exchange, for the moon is never but a month old. And I say, besides that, 'twas a pricket that the princess killed. Sir Nathaniel, will you hear an extemporal epitaph on the death of the deer, and to humor the ignorant call? The deer, the princess killed a pricket. Purge, good Master Holofernes, purge, so it shall please you to abrogate scurrility. I will something affect the letter, for it argues facility. The prayful princess pierced and pricked a pretty pleasing pricket. Some say sore, but not a sore till now made sore with shooting. The dogs did yell. Put I to sore, then sorrel jumps from thicket. Or pricket sore, or sorrel. The people fall hooting. If sore be sore, then L to sore makes 50 sores, so sorrel. Of 1 sore and 100 make by adding 1 more L. A rare talent. If a talent be a claw, look how he claws him with a talent. This is a gift that I have, simple, a foolish, extravagant spirit full of forms, figures, shapes, objects, ideas, apprehensions, motions, revolutions. These are begot in the ventricle of memory, nourished in the womb of pia mater, and delivered upon the mellowing of occasion. But the gift is good in those in whom it is acute, and I am thankful for it. Sir, I praise the Lord for you, and so may my parishioners for their sons are well tutored by you, and their daughters profit very greatly under you. You're a good member of the commonwealth. If their sons be ingenious, they shall want no instruction. If their daughters be capable, I will put it to them. but vis apis qui poca loquiturs are so feminine saluteth us. God give you good morrow, master person. Master person quasi pierce one, and if one should be pierced, which is the one? Merry master, schoolmaster, he that is like lies to a hogshead of piercing a hogshead, a good lustre of conceit on turf of war, far enough for a flint, pearl enough for a swine. 'Tis pretty, 'tis well. Good master parson, be so good as read me this letter. It was given me by Custard, and sent me from Don Amado. I beseech you, read it. Facile precor gelida quando pecas omnia sub umbra ruminat. And so forth. Ah, good old Mantuan, I may speak of thee as the traveller doth of Venice. Venetia, Venetia, qui non te vede non ti pretia. Old Mantuan, who understandeth thee not, loves thee not. Utere sola mi fa. Under pardon, sir, what are the contents, or rather, as Horace says in his, what my soul verses? Aye, sir, and very learned. Let me hear staff, a stanza, a verse, Legge Domine. If love make me forsworn, how shall I swear to love? I never faith could hold, if not to beauty vowed. Though to myself forsworn, to thee I'll faithful prove. Those thoughts to me were oaks, to thee like osiers bowed. Study his bias leaves, and makes his book thine eyes, where all those pleasures live that art would comprehend. If knowledge be the mark, to know thee shall suffice. Well learned is that tongue that well can thee commend. All ignorant, that soul that sees thee without wonder, which is to me some praise that I thy parts admire. Thy eye droves lightning bears, thy voice is dreadful thunder, which not to anger bent is music and sweet fire, celestial as thou art. O pardon, love, this wrong that sings heaven's praise with such an earthly tongue. You find not the apostrophis, and so miss the accent. Let me supervise the consonant. Here are only numbers ratified, but for the elegancy, facility, and golden cadence of poesy, correct. Ovidius Naso was the man, and why indeed Naso? But for smelling out the odoriferous flowers of fancy, the jerks of invention, Matari is nothing. So doth the hound his master, the ape his keeper, the tired horse his rider. But Damascella virgin, was this directed to you? Aye, sir, from one Masuba round, one of the strange queen's lords. I will overglance the superscript to the snow-white hand of the most beauteous Lady Rosaline. I will look again on the intellect of the letter for the nomination of the party writing to the person written unto your ladyships in all desired employment, Brown. Sir Nathaniel, this Brown is one of the votaries with the king, and here he